Recently, a fanfic on AO3 went viral on TikTok and Twitter because it had quite the notable, well, author's note. If you're a regular on AO3, and this channel for that matter, then you're likely well aware of the sometimes wild footnotes fanfic writers will leave in their stories, explaining their absences, excusing why fics were delayed or why updates are taking slower than usual, marriages, babies, jail, natural disasters, hospitalizations. If you tried cooking up the most insane, traumatic experience you could think of, it's probably already been in someone's author's note. But this particular author's note caught people's attention because the author of this fanfic died, but the fanfic was still being updated. Allow me to explain. This is the fanfic in question. It's for the K-pop group NMIXX, with the pairing being Lily Morrow and Oh Haewon, also known as Haley. It's not rated, and the additional tags are fluff, domestic fluff, friends to lovers, established relationship, meeting the parents, and no beta, we die like the original author. That tag was added after this author's note went viral, but I digress. And for those who don't know, the tag no beta, we die like blank is used for when a fanfic is not betaed or not proofread or edited by another person other than the author. It's basically saying like, hey, I'm just posting this, no one else looked this over before I posted it, so if there's mistakes, sorry. No beta, we die like the original author is still insane to look at though. It's called a collection of Haley fics, and it's on hiatus because, hello, this is the best friend of the author. I regret to inform you that the author has passed away from alcohol poisoning. But fear not, I, their best friend, will be continuing this fanfic in honor of them, after of course a short or long period of remembrance for this loss. I assure you that this is what they would have wanted. Rest in peace as we all take a shot in your name. I miss you, buddy. Rest in peace as we all take a shot in your name. Jesus. So yes, thanks to ordained NSFWers' best friend, a collection of Haley fics shall live on. This completely blew up online. Reactions ranged from shocked to horrified, hysterical to tickled. The comments are full of condolences for the author, which is very sweet, and the best friend answered a couple questions in here. The announcement, hello, are you okay? Not really, I'm the one who found them. Are you good? I'm doing my best. I'll be posting something tomorrow clearing up details and stuff before the break. So yeah, there's a little more lore for y'all. The best friend who's now updating their deceased friend's fanfic for them was the one who found them after they died of alcohol poisoning. That is very rough. It should be noted that at the end of the last chapter before the author's note, this is an author's note from the original author before they passed. Ignore how this is written. I'm high as running off 3 hours of sleep and 2/3 a bottle of rum. Ooh. This has gotta be a joke, Lamau. I really, really wish it was, man. Hope you find peace. I bet your friend's really happy you're continuing the fic for them and going viral. This being a NMIXX Haley fic is still sending me. I'm sorry. Haha, I'm glad you got a laugh out of it. Humor is really the only way I'm able to keep going right now. Oh my god, the tag, no beta, we die like the original author. Coping with the humor we shared is really the only thing keeping me afloat right now. I came here from Twitter. Oh my gosh, I don't know if I'm allowed to laugh. Rest in peace to your friend. Laugh if you want, it's the only way I'm not breaking down completely right now. This is the second announcement from the author's best friend clarifying some things. Hello, I'm back again before the hiatus to say a few things. First of all, I cannot thank you enough for your condolences. Me and the family of the author have been deeply affected by this loss. They've been struggling with addiction for a while, and I genuinely hate myself for having to say I'm not that surprised this happened. I don't think that having lost someone has ever hurt me as much as this. I've known the author for a decade. They were the person I held closest to me, and I don't think anything will ever help me get completely over this. I hate myself for letting this happen. I hate that I was the one who found them and couldn't do anything. And I quite honestly hate them for doing this to me, to their family. I found a letter that was addressed to me explaining what they wanted to happen to this fanfic and their account. It contained passwords to all of the accounts they used to write, which had many in-progress fics that they trusted me to complete. It also said they wanted me to delete one of the chapters, which is why that one is already gone. I will never be able to replace how they wrote, and some of the longer fics they had in progress will never be quite what they wanted, but they asked, so I deliver. Thank you all so much for the support. The author would be so happy to see how much love you gave their work. I will try my best to answer questions if they are not overstepping. I must also address a few things. Although you have no reason to believe me, this is not a joke. My best friend passed away. They are dead. Someone who has had the same username on TikTok shared this post and it went viral. I managed to get in touch with the user who explained to me that they had used the name because they thought it was funny. They had no ill intent and are going to change their name as soon as possible. I have no idea when I will be posting their work. I have myself and a family to console as well as a funeral to plan. Please do not get your hopes up for soon to come updates. I apologize. I saw some people find it weird that I said rest in peace as we all take a shot in your name. It was a joke that we had that no matter how they passed, it wouldn't stop me from taking a few shots in remembrance. The newest tag that I added was also a running joke. Again, thank you all so much for the support on here, TikTok, and Twitter. I just wish that my friend was here to see how much they are loved. Rest in peace, you deserve it. And then some more really sweet comments. That's a homie, right there. They maybe don't even like what the fanfic was about, but they're gonna finish it for their friend. AO3 writers have experienced battles more extreme than soldiers have in history. This is true friendship if I've ever seen it. Look, if I die and someone takes on my fic, I want that in the tags. Huh? Is this real? Yes. I hope they're okay, but damn. I'm sure they know exactly how their friend would have wanted all of this handled, and I respect them for respecting it. No, that's so sad. The writer beyond the grave as their best friend is left to write the raunchiest smut ever written by mankind in the next chapter. I hope the best friend of the author narrates the story like how we can hear his fun voice while reading. Even death can't stop a fic from being posted, but then there are my fave fics from fanfic.net that haven't been uploaded since 2012. It's giving OSHA, all my homies die at work. The flesh is weak and life is short, but the works are forever. AO3 authors are something else. Most normal AO3 situation brings a whole new meaning to ghost written. That's a high honor in fanfic terms. Am I the only one who thinks that these absurd things happening to fanfic authors are, 1, either excuses because the fanfic community used to be quite rabid about their timely updates, used to be, so people lied to make people less mad at them because something bad happened, or 2, a stunt to get people sharing their fic. I mean, it could very well be those things, and I'm sure that happens on occasion, but the best friend seemed quite heartfelt to me, so I'm inclined to believe them. It's certainly a heavy thing to lie about. What's AO3? This ended up blowing up so much that it moved beyond the fandom fanfic crowd and actually launched into kind of normie Twitter and normie TikTok a bit, so a lot of people who aren't used to the dedication that fans have for their works and each other were like, why would you have someone update your fanfics for you? Are they that important? To which I say, yeah, they can be that important to people. People are proud of their works. It's something that speaks for their passion, and even if they pass away, they want their passion to live on. Fun fact, all of my roommates have my AO3 login, just in case I become incapacitated or die, all things that have a chance of happening without much warning, so they can post what I have drafted and summarize the endings. And that brings me to the topic of Fannish Next Of Kin. If you aren't aware of what that is, basically on AO3, if you're worried about something happening to you in the future, like, oh, what if I get into a horrible accident? What if I suddenly pass away? I don't want my works on AO3 to be floating around in the ether forever, incompleted, and just leaving my readers hanging. You can have people designated as your Fannish Next Of Kin, so that if something happens to you, then the AO3 support team can give your account to them to control and manage. It's kind of like a fanfiction will. There's a whole guide and explanation on everything here. Basically, all you gotta do is contact AO3 support team and be like, hey, I'd like to establish username so-and-so as my Fannish Next Of Kin. Or be like, hey, so-and-so wants to establish me as their Fannish Next Of Kin. AO3 will double check everything with y'all, and if it all looks good, then presto, there you go. You can only have one official Fannish Next Of Kin on AO3, and if something happens to them, then you gotta find someone else. But let's say if you passed away and then your Fannish Next Of Kin passed away, whoever they designated as their Fannish Next Of Kin will have access to both of your accounts. And this agreement with your Fannish Next Of Kin can always be rectified. Obviously, you don't have to go through this entire process if you don't want to. You could always just give someone your AO3 username and password if you trust them. It's just that if you're worried about having multiple people have your login credentials, then this is a good way to get someone to have access to your account only if something happens to you. In which case, if you're incapacitated or pass away, then your next of kin will contact AO3 and be like, hey, so-and-so has passed away. I'd like their account, please. Some of these are pretty funny. Help, something went wrong. Control of my account has been transferred, but I'm still hale and hearty. If rumors of your death were greatly exaggerated, please contact our support team right away. Whether you've turned up after being lost in the Amazon for a decade, or whether someone is just trying to pull a fast one, we'll do our best to get you your account back ASAP. This is an announcement that AO3 released on Fannish Next Of Kin. Thinking about your own death is difficult under normal circumstances, but what happens when you consider the effect it would have on your identity as a fan? If you're like a lot of us, it probably comes with a moment of panic. What happens to all my fan works? Or possibly, what happens if my mom or partner or my kid finds my fan works? There's no doubt that having a significant, distinct online identity, which may have websites, blogs, fan works, email addresses, and social media accounts, adds a level of emotional and legal complexity to the real final frontier: death. RIP. But keep the kudos coming? But again, that may still be a bracing prospect if your executor is not a fellow fan and will have to decide what to do with the explicit Destiel fic you posted in 2010. With that in mind, the Archive of Our Own has an option to name a Fannish Next Of Kin, someone who would gain access to your account in case of death or incapacitation. By naming another individual who can act on your behalf, you can decide ahead of time how you want your AO3 accounts handled going into the future. Maybe you want your works preserved. Maybe you want them orphaned or deleted. Maybe you want to have them open to remixes or related works. Whether your Fannish identity departs with you or keeps on keeping on, that's a choice you can make. However you want your works handled, this option will allow you to have a plan in place. Yeah, needless to say, this entire situation was quite eye-opening in some ways, but also really sweet seeing everybody come together and offer their condolences to the author's best friend. Fanfic authors can't be stopped, even in death. And I do want to make a video about the AO3 author curse as well, which is like the superstition that if you start writing on AO3, bad things will suddenly happen to you, and then you'll end up like one of those people in those crazy author's notes. What are your thoughts on all of this? Do you have anybody in mind when it comes to thinking about, okay, if I suddenly am just erased from this earth, who do I want to have continue my fics? Do you think you'll officially establish a Fannish Next Of Kin? Oh god, should I? For my channel? I'm wishing the best to ordained NSFWer's best friend. If you're watching this, then I hope you're doing better and well, and Godspeed with completing these fics. And besides this, what is the craziest author's note you've ever seen on AO3? If you want to see more fandom, fanfic, and fan culture-esque videos from yours truly, then feel free to subscribe. And thank you so much for watching, lovely viewer. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.